It's been a week already. A week flies by so fast. It's been 1 week since the release of Scarlet and Violet 151. What do you guys think so far? Are you guys having fun? It is a lot of fun to open. I know pull rates aren't the greatest for a lot of people. They're not a huge fan of them, but we'll talk about that more later. It's been an absolute blast to open up, and we recorded a video last Friday going over pull rates of Scarlet and Violet 151. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but we also promised in last Friday's video that we would give away this the Fanny Master Set. This is the Fanny Master Set of Scarlet and Violet 151. It's got everything in it, all the way up to the promo cards that have released so far, and I'm going to be giving this to one of you guys, one of my subscribers, and I promise to keep you guys updated. So we are going to give this away. The winner will be announced in the video where we open up the Ultra Premium collections from Scarlet and Violet 151. I want to give you a little bit of update. Those have shipped to storefronts, so I should have those early next week. I'm hoping Tuesday will be the announcement of who is going to win the Scarlet and Violet 151 Master Set. So if you want to enter to win, here's all you have to do. Hit that subscribe button down below, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and then go back and watch the video from last Friday and just leave a like and a comment on that video. That's all you have to do to enter. We're going to let the random comment picker do its thing, and then hopefully Tuesday I will announce the winner. So just hit that subscribe button down below, go like and comment on the video from last Friday where we go over Scarlet and Violet 151 pull rates, and then boom, you're entered. That's all you have to do. We're gonna continue the discussion on Scarlet and Violet 151. We took a little bit of a break from it yesterday when we went over some Paldea Evolved information, but Scarlet and Violet 151 has been an absolute blast. And I said it, pull rates. I want to get something clear with pull rates because there seems to be a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to pull rates. So when it comes to a specialty set, there is no guaranteed pull rates. Pokemon does not have any guaranteed pull rates. The Scarlet and Violet era, for example, Scarlet and Violet Base, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames, have all ranged in pull rates from about 11 hits per booster box to about 13 hits per booster box. If you take a sample size of 36 packs of Scarlet and Violet 151, it breaks down to about 12 hits per 36 packs, 1 out of every 3 packs. So the pull rates, while they might not be as great as Crown Zenith, or might not be as great as Hidden Fates or Shining Fates, they're still very much in line with what we're accustomed to throughout the Scarlet and Violet generation. And I want to remind everybody, if we go back to the Sword and Shield era, the first half of the Sword and Shield era, so Sword and Shield base all the way up to Evolving Skies, your pull rates in those sets were not great. I mean, you were looking at 7 to 8 hits per booster box, and that was even way up from where it used to be in Black and White and in even parts of XY and even Sun and Moon. Pull rates have gotten better as time has gone on, but the first half of Sword and Shield, you were getting roughly 7 hits per booster box. It wasn't until those Trainer Galleries sets started coming out where you started getting a little bit more bang for your buck. So Scarlet and Violet 151, while pull rates might not be as good as what you're used to with specialty sets, they are very much the same as what we're used to with Scarlet and Violet. So definitely something to keep in mind. One thing that also is important about Scarlet and Violet 151 is the prices have been insane, and it's very important, and I cannot emphasize this enough. It's very important not to FOMO, and if there's one thing that you take out of this video, this is what I want you to take out of it. Prices will probably go up for Scarlet and Violet 151 over the next couple weeks. I know, Fanny, we have another set coming out. We have another wave coming out. So we already had the release of the Elite Trainer Box, the Booster Bundle, the Binder Collection, and the Poster Collection. Those have already come. Those are already out there. You might still be able to find some in stores at Target or at big box retailers. A lot of LGSs, a lot of online stores. They might be a little bit sold out at the time. And then the next wave of releases is scheduled to come out next Friday. We'll have the Ultra Premium Collection, the Alakazam Box, the Zapdos Box, and the Mini Tins, and that is it for announced releases when it comes to Scarlet and Violet 151. However, it is very important to remember that Pokemon will do what they can to print to demand. We saw this with Shining Fates, and I think we're going to see it again with Scarlet and Violet 151. So we might see a little bit of a dip when it comes to like booster pack prices and things like that next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when all these new products come out as people sell their duplicates. Sealed products might come down a little bit, but then since there is not a wave announcement as of yet, I do expect prices to go back up to where they are right now, maybe a little bit higher. So don't buy at those prices. Don't go crazy and buy at those prices. I do think Pokemon is going to print a lot more to make sure that there are a lot available. As of right now, distribution does not have that information yet. However, if we base things off of history, we can expect that there is going to be more of Scarlet and Violet 151. And worst comes to it, you don't crack as much sealed product as maybe as you would like to, and then you just wait for singles to come down in price. We're going to talk about singles in today's video, but I wanted to make sure that everybody understands prices might go up a little bit. They might go up a little bit after the next release, and then usually what happens then is content creators say, oh, Scarlet and Violet is going crazy, and I might even do something like that. But I do want to remind everybody that is not a permanent thing. Hidden Fate or Shining Fates went up like crazy, and then Pokemon put out a statement, hey, we're going to print enough of this. Don't go nuts, guys. Like, just chill your fannies for a second here. It's going to be okay. And then a lot of it came to the point where we're 2.5 years after Shining Fates came out. Singles, I don't think will ever recover. Sealed product is still selling well below MSRP, and Scarlet and Violet 151 is a lot of fun to crack, but patience is probably going to be your most important trait that you could possibly carry when it comes to opening the set. If you look at Elite Trainer boxes, for example, a little bit higher right now. They're at about $56, so a little bit over MSRP. Booster bundles, way too high, almost double MSRP. It's all about the price per pack, bringing the price per pack down to as low as it possibly can. And then you've got booster packs right now selling for the lowest listed one right now is $6.91. The market price is $6.55, so that's going to continue to climb up a little bit. As more packs hit the market next weekend, we can probably expect this to go down a little bit, but then, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't creep back up a little bit until more product gets out there. So right now, obviously, big box stores will probably continue to stock. Marketing companies will continue to stock. But remember, that's a completely different distribution chain than what we have as brick and mortar stores, as online stores. So it's important, really important, not to FOMO. Don't go crazy. We're going to talk about singles because this is something that we do with every set release. What I like to do is I like to look at the prices of singles right before pre-orders on TCG Player change from only pre-release stores to every store. So last week, Friday in the morning, right before things changed, I screenshotted all like the first, I don't know, the top 30 or 40 selling cards on TCG Player for Scarlet and Violet 151. So that way we can compare them about a week later. And this is before all the other sellers. So TCG Player limits limits what people can or what stores can put up pre-orders for singles. So these are all limited right now, right before they allowed everybody to list cards. I think it's important to look at it from that regard because it's a little bit of a race to the bottom for all these pre-order stores, but then it becomes a huge race to the bottom once everybody gets hold of selling on TCG Player. So we're going to look at singles and see how things have dipped or gained over the past week. Very interesting stuff because it's hard to get your feeling on Scarlet and Violet 151 and what's all going to happen. A lot more people are collecting this set because of the nostalgia factor. A lot of people have skipped pretty much every Scarlet and Violet release so far because they just want to focus on Scarlet and Violet 151 because they love the OG, they love the nostalgia. Even common and uncommon cards, the artwork in this set, holographic cards, is so great. It's so wonderful that a lot of people are trying to master the set. They're trading these cards. I mean, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing for the community as long as we don't give into the money side of things. Like, don't focus just on the money side of things, but we want to look at singles to make sure we're making the best decision when it comes to spending our collection dollars. And I do expect as more and more product opens, like I'm sure you guys do, prices to drop. Now, it may take a little while, but again, that's why it's important not to FOMO. If we look at the Charizard EX right there at the top, last week, right before the products got out there for everybody to put on TCG Player, this was selling for about $126, $125.98. Now it's only dropped about 4% over the past week. You can see the current price point for Charizard EX, the special illustration rare, selling for $120.45. So a 4% dip, which is really unheard of when it comes to a lot of new sets that release. Usually the main series sets and even specialty sets, they're very, very high before release. We saw that with a lot of Scarlet and Violet sets. Miriam selling for over $100, a lot of cards selling for over $100 and then dropping 50, 60, 70% in their first week. This card only dropped about 4%. Erica's Invitation, the special illustration rare, this card was selling for $77.06 at release. It's dropped 24%, so a little bit bigger of a drop. almost 25% down to 57.85, so still holding extremely well. The Zapdos EX only dropped about 20%, 19.5% over the past week, so it went from $57.94 down to $46.64. And part of that is also because the special illustration rares do have a little bit of a harder pull rate than what we're used to. So while pull rates for all hits might be the same, these special illustration rares seem that they are a little bit more difficult to pull than what we're accustomed to with the Scarlet and Violet sets. Here is a drop that we are more used to. These next couple cards here, the Erica's Invitation, this is just the full art, so this is just the ultra rare, not the special illustration rare. This has dropped 57% over the past week from $53.79 down to $23.11. That full art Mew right there, very cool looking card. This one's dropped 53%. So again, more what we're accustomed to. Still a little bit on the low end. Usually you see new sets. I remember Battle Styles was dropping 70-80% right out of the gates. It was absolutely crazy. $51.89 down to $24.23. But the Venusaur EX special illustration rare, only single digits for the drop. You're looking at about 8.96%. It went from $46.43 down to $42.27. If we look at the Blastoise, this one actually went up, and there are quite a few cards that actually increased in price over the past week. If you would have went on TCG Player last Friday in the morning and ordered this card, you would have been paying $43.24. Now, a week later, this card, even though more and more copies have been opened, it's actually gone up. And I think part of the problem is, and it's not a problem, it's a good thing, a lot of people are actually collecting the set. A lot of people are collecting the set. They might be selling their duplicates or triplicates, but they're really into collecting the set. And because of that, prices aren't dropping as much as what we're used to. So this one went from $43.24 up to $48.66, about a 12.5% increase. The full art Charizard, this one did dip down a little bit. $35.31 is where it was selling last week on Friday. It's dropped down to $29.17, so still very strong. It's only dropped about 17.25%, 17.39% to be exact. So not a bad drop at all. The Mew EX Hyper Rare, the gold card, this one's dropped a decent amount, but it didn't start out super high for a gold card. So this one went from $34.20 down to $25.18, about a 26.37% drop, already cheaper than that Mew from Celebrations, which is a little bit interesting. The Charmander has gone up, and it continues to climb. These basic, the first stage basic Pokemon from the starters are really making a lot of noise over this past week, and you'll see that starting with the Charmander. This one's gained almost 30% over the past week. Already somewhat expensive last week, Friday, at $28.42. It has increased to $36.85. It's gained 29.66%, which is quite substantial. Ivysaur, the stage 2s, those have not, or stage 1s, those have not done extremely well. Ivysaur, Charmeleon hasn't done great. Wartortle hasn't done great. This one's dropped 51.51%. It went from $27.24 down to $13.21. The Alakazam EX Special Illustration Rare, this one's gone nuts. It's 65% above where it was last Friday on release day. It was already at $26.72, almost doubling in price. I mean, it's jumped up to $44.14. Absolutely insane. Bill's Transfer, this is a drop that we're more used to seeing, more accustomed to seeing. 80.79%. It's dropped over the past week from $26.45 all the way down to single digits. It's selling for $5.08 currently. The Pikachu illustration rare, this one has gone down about 28%. It went from $25.51 down to $18.34. The Charizard EX regular art, so the double rare, if you want to call it that, has dropped about 66%, 65.58% from $22.69 down to $7.81. Might see a little bit of competitive play, but a huge drop on that Charizard right there. Golem has dropped quite a bit, 62.5% from $12.82 down to $4.81. The Caterpie illustration rare, this one has also dropped quite a bit, over 50% from $12.22 down to $5.61. Wigglytuff EX, another possibility in competitive play, went from $11.30 down to $5.65. So that's about a 50% drop. The Switch dropped a lot more than what I thought it would drop, especially because you look at the secret rare from the Sun and Moon era, much more expensive. This one went from $13.15 down to $7.54, so about a 42.5% drop on that one. The Squirtle gained a lot of ground. It's up 58% over the past week. It went from $12.95 up to $20.47. But like I said, those starter Pokemon doing extremely well right now in the market. Blastoise EX dropped about 46.5%, went from $12.89 down to $6.89. The full art Blastoise dropped 21.5%. So this one not as severe as the regular art, went from $18.43 down to $14.44. The Mew EX, by far the best competitive card in the set. Mew EX, definitely a huge card for a lot of competitive play. This one actually gained some ground. This is just the regular art getting close to the territory of that full foil art. So kind of like what we saw from those Charizard cards from Obsidian Flames with their playability, went from $16.19 up to $18.17. So that's a 12.23% gain. The basic Psychic Energy, not as cheap as some of the other secret rare energies. This one went from $15.65 down to $9.02. So that's a 42.36% drop. The Zapdos EX dropped 52.5% from $19.23 down to $9.15. The Tangela, not a lot of Tangela fans, apparently. This one went from $19.13, dropped 77.73%, all the way down to $4.26, which is crazy, crazy drop. I actually really like that card. I think it's super cool artwork, and it really tells a story with all the illustrations that the same artist has done throughout the years. Very, very cool. Giovanni's Charisma, the special illustration rare, dropped from $18.89 down to $17.90, so only about a 5.25% drop for that one. The Charmeleon dropped 32%. This one's really cool as well. Went from $21.95 down to $14.91. The Wartortle, almost 41% of a drop from $20.98 down to $12.41. The Full Art Venusaur EX dropped pretty significantly, about 58%, a little bit more than that, almost 58.5%, from $19.98 down to $8.31. Then we've got the Nidoking dropping 35.68%. It was at $11.10 last Friday. It's down to $7.14. We're gonna have one, I think, on the next slide that did crazy. Giovanni's Charisma, this is just the regular full art version, went from $11.07 down to $4.73. That's a 57% drop. So more what we're used to. But the Poliwhirl, really good legs, really strong legs, only dropped about 8% from $10.81 down to $9.95. The we'll talk about the bubbles. The Ninetales EX, I couldn't pull a Ninetales EX to save my life. This one went from $10.58 down to $6.41, so about a 39.5%, 39.41% drop. The Bulbasaur has gone crazy, 88.79% of a gain over the past week, so almost 89%. It went from $9.99, almost doubling in price, up to $18.86. Those starter Pokemon are going nuts. Alakazam EX actually went up, but relatively flat, from $9.35 to $9.36. Alakazam definitely has potential in competitive play. We'll see what happens. Definitely has potential. The Daisy's Help card, this one, it surprises me how far it has dropped and how low it started out. $9.10 down to $5.03, so that's about a 44.73% drop. The Machoke went from $9.07 down to $5. That's a 44.87% drop. The Venusaur EX, I don't even know why I have this one on here. Regular arts I usually don't talk about. $8.77 down to $2.84. That's a 67.62% drop. The Kangaskhan dropped 57.48% down to $3.38 from $7.95. The Mr. Mime went from $7.92 down to $4.26. That's a 46% drop. Arbok EX went from $7.01 down to $4.21. That's almost a 40% drop. So not quite as severe as a lot of other drops that we're used to. The Kangaskhan EX, that was just part of the snip for some reason. So I didn't really track that one. The Dragonair, this one is absolutely crazy. This one has jumped up. This was selling, pre-order pricing for this one was $6.34, but a lot of big fans of this card. It's beautiful artwork. Went from $6.34 up to $14.41. 127.29% increase over the past week, which is absolutely insane. And then the Psyduck, I love this card as well. He looks so lost. Oh man, these cards are so great. From $5.54 up to $8.96. So that's a 61.73% gain increase over the past week. So a lot of cards, a lot of illustration rares and special illustration rares, a little bit more difficult to pull, increasing in price over the past week or so, which is something we're not usually used to, and a lot of other cards going down, but not as severe as what we're typically used to. But that just shows you the demand for the set and the collectability of the set, which is important to take into account moving forward. It might be months down the road before you can really start finding these singles at their lowest price point. Very, very similar to what we've seen with Crown Zenith, as more and more have hit the shelves. Very similar to what we saw with Shining Fates, as more and more hit the shelves. That's why it's important to pay attention to a lot of what's going on in the market. Competitive play, that Mew EX is going to stay high for a while. If you need to add a Mew EX regular art, you may want to wait a while. It's okay to not finish your master set right away. If you're a master set collector, it's okay to come back to it, maybe leave a few holes here and there and come back and finish it up. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. Just don't FOMO. Just don't go crazy about it. It's going to be around for a while, and I think that's very important. Once we get more information from Pokemon to distributors, and that information is then given to us as store owners, we'll be able to kind of pass that along, so okay, well, there's going to be more coming in, let's say November or February, or additional waves kind of hit the market, so you can plan properly with your collection dollars. Guys, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for everything. If you appreciate the content, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment, share the video. All those things go a really long way to helping the channel grow, and I wouldn't be where I am without you guys. So thank you so much for everything. I'll talk to you again in a couple days. Until next time, peace.